What's up, everybody? This is Cole Boling with the Boling Group at Keller Williams Realty, One Legacy Partners here in Topeka, and you are listening to Topeka Business Uncensored. Here we go. Hey, everybody, it's Cole Boling here again with Topeka Business Uncensored, and today I got an old friend from high school. We've known each other a long time, going on 24, 25 years now, and what's that?
We're not that old.
No, you're right. You're right. It's only been 5 years. And he's got a business that I really am excited to showcase because it's kind of one of those businesses that a lot of people don't realize is needed. Every home has something that needs this business. And today I want to introduce you to Chad Akins. Chad is the owner of Kansas Pressure Washing, and he is here today to talk about his business, what he does, and give you guys a little bit of insight on maybe some things you need for your home that you didn't realize you do. So what's up, man? Welcome to my show, my podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah, I really appreciate you sticking with me on this. Had a little hiatus in my business and traveling and stuff, and we've been wanting to connect for a little while now, and here we are. So tell everybody, other than like what obviously people know what a pressure washer is, right? And people know, power washing and things like that, but like really talk to me about what is it as a business?
So like the nerd in you comes out and wants to give every detail, but the ordinary customer doesn't understand because what they have power to purchase or whatnot at a store, Home Depot or
Sure.
so, is like a 2.5, 2.6 gallon per minute machine at 3,500 PSI. So where we come into play is specializing in not damaging your equipment. So I'm not going to want to put a 3,500 PSI power washer onto a home because it's going to blow holes. It's going to blow stuff off, it's going to wreck and damage it. So where we come in on specializing with the pressure washing is we have a 8 gallon a minute and a 2,500 PSI unit, which you use 2,500 PSI and no more on concrete, or you could etch it. So then you etch, then you got to rebuy concrete. That's more expensive. Unless you like the new decoration on your concrete driveway or walkway.
It's never going to be uniformed either.
Right. So, and then leading into that is we don't pressure wash homes, we soft wash homes. So going back to the 3,500 PSI at the box store to my 2,500 PSI on the concrete, we now only put 300 to 500 PSI onto a home. So it's mainly just flooded with water. That machine is 11 gallons a minute. So it's just going to pour volume out. It's going to be easier. And we're putting chemical on it to kill all the live bacteria instead of pressuring it away, leaving marks, possibly damaging the home and not killing the organic growth on there. So when you say explain pressure washing, it's kind of a hard thing to do necessarily for the regular individual that doesn't look at it or study it.
Well, I think you're explaining it well. I think that what I'm hearing is if I go to Home Depot and I buy a pressure washer, I may damage something. I may have too much coming out in a single form. Yeah. I may not realize that I'm doing a lot more damage than just hiring somebody like you who can come in, they can do it quick, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
What got you into this? What made you want to start a pressure washing company?
Well, so when I was 16, I took my brother's car and wrecked it. So I had to come up with, I think it was at that time, 95, 96.
You're not that old.
2,500 bucks. Yeah, I'm not that old. I'm at 2000.
Yeah.
2,500 bucks, I believe it was, to fix the car, so we didn't have to turn it in insurance. So I got my first job at Ed Bozart, now Cable Dahmer, in their wash bay, cleaning cars. So that's when I started, getting in the love of cleaning, washing, detailing,
Sure.
the before and after pics. I'm also one of those guys that will watch all the speed up videos
The time lapse.
the time lapse, or where people are like popping pimples or something. Like, I like the
Yeah.
before and after
Sure.
effects.
Sure. So like the
So
picture behind you, for instance. So
yeah,
tell us what's going on here in this picture behind you.
so that's a before and after. And
That's
you can see,
phenomenal, dude. That is
yeah, you
awesome.
can see all the organic growth in that.
Oh yeah.
And I
Is that
mean,
like mold or what? What is that?
yeah, yeah, just mold
Just
and
mildew and mold. Okay.
living there. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just been living there forever. And so that one took me a little bit longer and a little bit more chemical and a little bit more patience. But I mean, when it comes off, you can see a night and day difference, and
Mm-hmm.
to me, the picture is also hard to see, but if you go on to like Kansas Pressure Washing Facebook or whatever, you could see some photos that I post in there.
Or TikTok.
And yeah, TikTok and the time lapses. I try to do the time lapses after a minute. Some people have said that it's sped up too much, but I also don't think anybody wants to sit there for 3 to 5 minutes watching something. So I try to speed for them. But yeah, I'll do the before and after so you could see the difference. It's that church that we talked about, and I cleaned their bus, and so their bus is full of organic growth too, all the black mold on there. And so I cleaned that off, and I mean, that's a night and day difference too, looking like old 70s to a new 2000 model.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm thinking about this in terms of homes because a lot of people have vinyl siding and other sidings. I see it a lot on vinyl. This growth on the side. Is that something you could address if you see that on a home? Like you can come in and help somebody clean up the side of their home that has that growth happening, or is that kind of a little bit more extensive?
No, vinyl's easier than the stone, than the concrete, because it goes into the coarse pores of the concrete and everything, just like stucco. You're in Florida, you've seen stucco homes. It was big there too. So yeah, no, vinyl is the easiest. It'll go on, chemicals will wash it off. We water the plants and the ground so nothing dies, or we try to not let it flash burn or whatnot. So vinyl, stucco, brick, anything, concrete, you could do it all.
So recently you mentioned something about roofs, like roofs on homes. Like we see this a lot where the roof may not be as old as it looks. You get the tree saps or the mildew and stuff that's sitting on top of a roof for a while. Right. What can you offer people for cleaning up just the look of their current roof?
Yeah, and see, we do that too with the I was going to try to find some photos and stuff. Yeah, roofs are one. You just have to turn the chemical up to use it, but you got those like black streaks going down, and all that's organic growth. So the black streaks are organic. You got your actual, I've seen it with moss up there leaching, which is basically like the same thing, I guess a hybrid or something combined. But I actually did my brother's roof, and it has spores that are growing. So you have to spray it, kill it, and basically wait 7 days for it, because it's leached on to your shingle. So it's not going to come down. You got to kill it from the inside out, and it's going to detach those roots. And then a good rainstorm, or I would have to come back and spray that off. And then your roof is going to look brand new. Just like when you put it on there, the same color, everything like that. I think that you could do anything. Tile roofs.
I think that people get so used to seeing something that their brain starts like not even realizing that it's dirty or looks dirty or anything like that. Right. I had an experience in Florida when we lived there pre-pandemic, is what I guess it's like AD BC. That was pre-pandemic. We had bought a brand new house and the driveway, I could tell because I know what I'm looking at, but I was like, that driveway hasn't been power washed in ever. So immediately, I actually hired a company to come out and do the garage floor because I was doing, I did a epoxy garage floor. So I hired a company like you to come in because that's something you can do as well, where
Prepping
they can hire you. Yep,
Yeah.
to come in,
Yeah.
get all that old paint and crap off the floors and everything. And then we ended up doing the driveway. I actually did the driveway myself. And oh my gosh, I think half the people in the neighborhood were like, I never even realized the driveway was that dirty, because they get so used to that kind of that black stuff that just naturally there. And I mean, it looked like brand new concrete. Well, I see that in real estate. I see that all the time with sidewalks, with driveways and houses, where I will mention to people, I'll say, hey, have you thought about having your driveway pressure washed? And they're like, you think it needs it? I'm like, oh my gosh, could you imagine? And then it's kind of like one of those, like, what do they call them when there's satisfying videos? I think one of the most satisfying things in the world is watching a brand new power washed over old mossy brick or something. And
Anything.
it's a huge, I mean, the first impression's everything, right? When you're selling your home, this is why I really am wanting to start pushing all my clients to calling you and having this done, is because the first impression is everything. You pull in, you see, I mean, everything clean, everything fresh. It's better than doing landscaping. And you mentioned something, it's sometimes maybe better than painting. You can really freshen up something and may not even need painting. So what, and you, I don't know if you want to get into costs and expenses and stuff, but like, what could somebody expect to pay? You know, do you go hourly, or you like, do you bid per job, or how do you typically get paid?
Yeah, I want to address that painting issue real quick before we talk about that. If you don't mind, 'cause I'll forget. But so I went down to Texas to train too, there to Houston. Houston market is the biggest market anywhere per capita. Houston's not as big as the DFW airport, or DFW area.
Sure.
And per capita,
in terms of land mass.
So say, you know, DFW only has 1,000 washers. Houston has 4,500 washers. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. So anyways, went down there to train with a good group down there, and ran into on the agenda that day was washing some condos. Well, down there, these condos were anywhere from 900 to 3.2 million. So a lot of money invested in this little area. And pictures on the website there too, or on Facebook there too. But what he had us do was wash, because they bid painting for pre-pandemic, right? So then when it was time to paint, well, now their paint cost has tripled or quadrupled. So they didn't have the money in their budget. Now what they had the money in the budget for was to wash. So he said, okay, here's 7 units. I want you guys to wash them. We're going to see how it looks. Boom, did the 7 units. They were blown away with it. So they held off on painting and had them do another like 24 units just to wash, because it looked like a fresh paint job when all that's just like the picture behind me. I mean, like, it looks like a fresh paint.
It really does.
Yeah.
So somebody could save a lot of money doing that.
Correct. I mean, it could be that they think it needs painted, and boom, here it comes washes, and it looks like a new home, a new paint job. Now, I mean, people don't understand home ownership. It's expensive. It's not cheap. You have to upkeep. You upkeep your car, you know.
They should upkeep. They don't always do it.
Right. Do you wash your home, or you wash your car? You should wash your house, or it's going to eat away at the paint, right? You're going to get the salt on there. It's going to eat away. It's going to eat away the metal. Same thing with the house. It's just a little bit different. But people go 30 plus years without even thinking about this. You know, people are on top of it and do it every 3 to 5 years or whatnot. And so I just want to address the paint thing.
Well, I mean, even if you look, like, I just went in my head, it was like, man, I know how many houses on dirt roads that get just caked with dirt, but they don't realize how much they need to wash it because they're used to it.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to the whole, this is what you see, so you don't see anything different and know the potential that it could.
So if you're listening to this right now and your house has not been washed recently, you need to get it washed, period.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're on dirt road, if you're on concrete, you need to call Chad and get him over there to wash your house.
And you know what? Some of it, and probably a lot of it, if you go look, just have everybody go out and look at their north side. Their north side is always going to be the dirtiest because how our sun is. It gets the least sun, right? So it's going to grow that organic growth, getting sun and mostly shade and water, because it's not going to dry up the water. So just everybody go look at your north side, look at your north side roof, and it's going to have, I guarantee you, it's going to have black streaks. Then go to your south side or the east or west, and it's not going to be as dirty, or it might not have anything. That's the strange part, is it's just mainly on the north side, especially on roofs. So do I need to come and clean your whole house? No.
Maybe not.
Right.
Yeah.
It could just be so bad. Just like on my brother's house, he only had it on his, it would have been his north and northeast side on his roof. That's all I had to clean. So price can vary that way too. Okay. But are you only going to clean 3/4 or a half of your car? You know what I mean? So you're going to want it to shine also too.
Right.
So, you know, most people would go with everything, but if you are on a budget, then you could just pinpoint the areas that have the live growth on there. So going back to the question of pricing and everything, it's done not by hourly, but by job. So
you bid it basically.
Yeah, everyone in here will do a square foot price, and you know, you don't want to give away your secrets because you're trying to keep it fair for everybody.
Absolutely.
But you're gonna look anywhere from 15 to 25 cents per square foot is what the average is gonna cost you, and that's just for house. And
commercial probably more varies different also.
Roofing is a little bit more expensive because you got to have insurance, you know, if you're going to climb above. And you don't have to do roofs walking on them because you don't want to damage them too, but there are some spots that you would have to walk on. So that's the thing that's incorporated in the prices is, you know, insurance is expensive. You know, then you got to switch to business car insurance now that you're towing a trailer or you're doing business out of it. Marketing is expensive. And so I start a business, and I know people need it, but nobody knows I'm out there because of marketing. And that's what I'm falling into right now too, is I have a business, but nobody knows that it's there.
I think you're doing it right. I mean, I think like your TikToks, your social media, continuously getting, you know, friends and family to push it out and doing things like this. I mean, you're organically doing the right things. And I love watching your videos. I think they're satisfying. I think they're really cool. It's fun to see like the old buildings like behind you, like actually seeing that stuff. If somebody like how much would like, or how often would somebody that owns like a business, like let's say like my office building, for instance, like we have a parking lot, or we have you know, we have fronts and stuff like that. Like, do you find that you would do more commercial or more residential, or what do you think is probably more needed, is maybe my question. What do you think is more needed right now?
Commercial gas stations, commercial restaurants. I mean, go to your next gas station, and I've been pushing this, and I've been pushing my cards, and I hate to say it, but like, I'm not a salesman. I'm just like, you know, I can see you need it. I have to sell it to the customer that they need it, and they know they need it. But at businesses is where it gets hard, is they got to go through corporate. Right. Homeowner, I can talk to you and and you're the decision maker. Well, the wife is. So you'd have to go through it. Sometimes you got to go through the man at the house, and then he's like, well, I got to check with the boss. So let me check with the wife.
Like, damn
businesses
it, why
are
did I waste my
hard.
time on you?
Yeah. Okay, is she home? Let me talk to her.
Yeah, yeah,
But no, that aspect is easier in the home ownership than businesses because, like I said, they have to go through corporate. So now I'm waiting a week or two to hear something back, and then and if they don't, then I got to follow up. So it's a lot of time. I like doing it. I like learning in the industry. Right now, there's a huge. Called Huge Convention, and it's a huge convention in Tennessee right now that they're doing, and it's all for exterior washing, pressure washing.
Hmm.
I would have loved to have gone to that, but there's no flow coming in here, so I don't have the funds, to get there.
Sure.
But you'll
For your
like
new
this.
business, right? I mean, you're
Yeah,
fairly new business, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And just going to these conventions to learn, I enjoy it. You learn something, you network. There's a
Oh yeah.
network of people out there that if there's any questions that you can reach out to, and within 1 minute to an hour, you're going to have 20 comments of how you can fix this, what you can do better for the customer or whatnot. um, you'll like this though. In October 27th or 28th, I believe, I'm signed up for a class down in Manatee County, so hopefully going into Tampa
That's right where I
to do.
was. You're
Yeah.
Tampa. You're down to it's Spring Hill area.
Mhm.
It's Newport Richie area. I was like 10 minutes from there.
Yeah, see, this is south of Tampa, Manatee
Yep.
County. So
Yep.
yeah, going over
Yep.
Skyway and down south.
Yep.
But there's a paver and sealing class, 2-day class that I want to go
Mm,
to.
yeah. Yeah.
So the problem is, it's like traveling. Like, I've been to Houston twice. Went
Sure.
to Houston to train, went to Houston to do the roof washing class to, properly clean that chemical wise, everything. And then this is a paver and sealing, which we don't have these a lot here, but some pools do. But down in Florida, I mean, that's a everyday job. Their
Every
driveways
day.
are that way.
A
They're
lot of
that.
travertine tiles on the
Yeah,
pools. Like, I mean, you talk about needing a special person to do that. Like, I would have never taken a pressure washer from Home Depot and done travertine ever.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna break it up, or you're gonna eat it
Yeah.
up, whatever.
We don't
And
have that so much in Kansas, but
yeah, yeah.
speaking of
So
Kansas, I know your name is Kansas Pressure Washing, but really, what is your demographic in your area that you are focusing on right now?
Topeka, KC area,
Okay.
anything within the hour.
Sure.
So I mean, I'll go to Manhattan if the money's there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Yeah.
go where
Yeah.
I'm gonna get paid, but
But that's
it
still
would be
within an
nice.
hour.
What's that?
That's still within an hour.
Yeah, and it would be nice
Yeah.
to have a few jobs, and then you
Right. Right.
hand out some discounts too, traveling and having a few jobs. But Kansas City, I mean, my kids live there, so it's a easy drive. I mean, it's about $35 in fuel now. I guess it's coming down a
Yeah.
little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, Topeka is home base, of course, because I can get anywhere in Topeka in 20 minutes. The great thing
Hmm.
about Topeka is I go back and check on the jobs. That way I know that they're done right.
Hmm.
Kansas City, it'd be a little bit, harder. You can't just drive by and look at a job every day on the way to another job. So, but yeah, I mean, so
Who is your ideal client? Like, now that we're talking about, like, who would be your ideal client?
um somebody that is aware that they need it, or that they're curious if they need it, and then I can talk with them. And then you just show up. You don't have to be there.
Hmm.
I have to communicate with you that day. You just tell me your expectation. I go there, clean
Hmm.
it, take pictures, send it to you, and leave. And then they'll contact you with how satisfied they are, or if there is an issue, then you go back out there and fix it and do it right until the customer's happy.
So let's say
So
somebody's listening to this podcast right now that owns a business, like maybe they're a painting company or a roofing company or somebody like that, that could be a huge
gotcha.
resource to you. Like, how would that work?
Yeah. Yeah. The construction cleanup is a big thing. When they're done with cleaning, there's dirt everywhere.
Hmm.
Driveway, house, you'll get that
Yep.
red bottom on the house. We have chemical that can take that off and, get it back to its fresh paint. Speaking of that though, so say you're a homeowner, you just bought a house, right? Your concrete was just poured. There's no way you want to put pressure on new concrete. That's going to etch it up, eat it up, and you're done. You're with that new portrait that you just put in there, unless you rip it up and pour it again, right? So
art is in the eye of the beholder, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like the cleaning or etching the car. Yeah. So you're gonna have to live with it or fix it. But yeah, you don't put power or pressure on anything under a year old. You're going to use some chemicals and just the ball valve, or the gallons per minute. That's where I'd come into play with the 8 gallons compared to the 2.6 or whatever. But most people don't know that. They're going to get there and say, okay, well, they got some dirt on it. Let's pressure wash this off. And it's just going to put lines in it. It's just going to etch. Or if you do use a surface cleaner, it's going to do those etching circles or etching straight line. So just knowledge in that. Going back to the businesses, the painters.
Yes.
If they're busy and going from job to job to job, well, it could take them anywhere from 4 hours to pressure wash a home, because when you pressure, you're only getting a small square foot that you have to focus on, right? When I laid down all the water, and a lot of them too still only have the 2.6 gallon per minute or whatever. So I can lay down the chemical, rinse it, get it free of chemical, that home, and it's going to take me an hour compared to their 4 hours. So it just depends where they want to put their time and investment. Because when they go out and spray that home to paint, they're done for that day. They can't paint it, right? So they could send me out a day or two early, paint it. If they want to be there by Wednesday and they got other things to do, I could go out Monday, wash it, and then they can come Wednesday, right? If they can't get to it till Wednesday, they have Monday, Tuesday doing other homes. Well, then they're going to get a wash it and then have to wait at least another day or two, to start prep work to even. So, I mean, it's beneficial to both in that aspect. It's just how they value their time.
So you did mention like new construction and new construction cleanup and stuff. And obviously my dad is Mark Boling and owns a very good home building business. I am friends with other home builders. Is that another ideal client for you?
Yeah, that would be an ideal client. I don't know what they do now, if they do it themselves now, but how much time,
a lot of them do.
How much time are they spending? So I come in and I can cut their time down, because I have a 8 gallon a minute and an 11 gallon a minute machine to push all that dirt, to clean. And I have a buffer tank of 350 gallons. So my machines with the gallons per minute would not run off of a conventional house spigot. So I have to have more water going through it.
So you have a tank basically on your trailer, right?
Yep. So carrying a chemical tank and a water tank.
How many gallon tanks are they that you have?
Well, the
water one.
Yeah, the water is either 350 or 425. It's one of those totes.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, but what you do is once you get there, I have a hose, 100-foot hose that I run out and hook up to the spigot to push water into my tank.
So you keep it filling while you're
keep it filling.
So
So if I'm not washing per se, then it's filling up, right?
Smart.
And when I have my pressure washer on, it of course takes the 8 gallons per minute, but when I let off the handle, that backfill water goes back into my tank, so I'm not wasting water, and it's filling up my tank more. And then the chemical tank, that's nothing. You just putting your chemicals in.
Yeah. I meant more the water tank anyway.
Right.
I think it's good stuff, man. I think that the biggest thing is just sounds like you're having trouble getting in front of more people. And
Correct.
I would love to
Yes.
help you with that. I've got a lot of friends that are connected to the building industry, the painting industry, real estate in general. And, and I've got the decent viewing people that view my stuff. So I'm definitely going to get your information out as much as possible. What's the best way people can get a hold of you?
Text or call. The phone number, I probably can't see it, but it's
I can see it.
Yeah, it's 785-608-8604. And then that goes to my personal line. And when I was advertising up in Kansas City, so I got a Google. This is something I learned because I'm old. I'm a dinosaur, old school. But I Google number, so I got a 913 number there. That way, they would fit local. It's only an hour drive, so it's not that big a difference,
Sure.
So, but yeah, the Topeka number is still the same number I got when I think I was 18 before I got my first phone, and it was a flip phone and no.
I would still have mine if I didn't change going to Florida. We ended up getting a local number in Florida. I regret it every day. I want my number back so bad because all my business contacts and everybody still has my old number, and some young kid has it and he's not friendly, and so that's really great.
I guess, but
I'm too old for that.
I was in the military and traveled around for 8 years, 6 years for and then went back and started traveling again. But when I was in Florida, I was there for 5 years in the Tampa area. Kept my 785.
No, you were down there.
Yeah. I was right next to MacDill Air Force Base. There, South Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, you're way out there.
Yeah. So I was there 5 years. Worked over in St. Pete, so I can't remember that bridge. The south.
Howard Franklin.
Is Howard Franklin the middle one that goes to like the?
No, that's the one. I think that's the one that goes to St. Pete from the airport. Because there's the one that goes to Clearwater Beach.
South of that.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the one that can go down to Bradenton on that side and come back up through over the bridge, the Skyway.
No, there's 3 bridges that cross the bay from St. Pete to Tampa. So I was on the far south one.
Yeah, that's not the Howard. I don't remember what the name of that one was. Yeah.
I'm bad with
names.
I
love that drive though. I love that drive. So beautiful.
The thing is it takes you 30 to 45 minutes to get anywhere really down there, but it's such a beautiful drive that you don't even know you've been driving for 45 minutes to work, you know, instead of
that area is, you wouldn't recognize it, man. It is just from when we left in 2020. 2020 we left to now. It is supposedly like even blown up more than that, like 5,000 roofs. The neighborhood that we originally were in down there was it was a master plan community that was going to be 5,000 roofs. They have put up like 2,000 or 3,000 houses since we were one of the first houses to build there. But that's one community, and there's like 12 of them that have done it, and that's all Hermosa. We were in we were in Pasco County, and it was even more north than that. Like you're getting you said Manatee County earlier, right? So that's Bradenton.
Manatee's far south. You're up in Newport.
I was up in Odessa. Well, I was in Palm Harbor when we left. So we were in Palm Harbor, Clearwater. So that whole area, but then Manatee down to Sarasota and all that. Yeah. That's where you're headed though, you said? Down to that area?
Yeah, in October for some training, for some pavers.
Bradenton or Sarasota area or whatever?
It's south of Bradenton, so hitting the Skyway all the way down.
So that would be Sarasota then, right?
Yeah.
You got the Longboat Keys, you got Santa Maria Island and all that.
Yeah. That's where because I was in the Coast Guard down there for the 5 years. So we did all that west stuff, all the bay stuff.
What a shame.
Yeah, I know. Getting on boats down there, riding in the port.
And now we're both back in Kansas looking at
it was horrible.
Prairie forever, it's funny though. I do tell a lot of people, like, Florida was fun. Florida would have been a lot more fun if it was just Jamie and I, and we were able to get a boat and not have kids in school and things like that. Like, I wouldn't change our situation for the world. However, I'm a lot more at peace being back here. I don't miss the things I miss about Florida are, I do miss the views. I do miss the weather was actually pretty good. It did get very humid, which I don't miss.
You shower, you get out of the shower and you're sweating.
Yeah, I was like, I just took a shower and I need to take another one.
Yeah.
But honestly, coming back here, and I want anybody listening to hear this, like, I wanted to get out for so long. My whole life, I wanted to move away from Topeka. I wanted to get away. And I said, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So we did it in 2018, into 18, and we were there for about 16 months. And I'm glad we did it because I'm at peace with here now. I actually see that it doesn't matter where you are. It's the same stuff. It's the same businesses. It's the same people. It's the same, everything's the same. It's what you make of it. And it took me leaving to see that, right? Like, I'm absolutely at peace with being here. I think that there's a lot of beauty here. And Topeka's really started, I mean, from 2018 to now, we've really flipped the script on the older generation, keeping things kind of the way they were. So now we have a newer generation that has actually got some money. We got some things pushing. We got a lot of really cool things in the works. We got a lot of people in leadership roles who want to see Topeka grow, want to see these things happen. We have younger people like you and I that are only in our early 20s that starting businesses and being more active in the community. It's a big deal to see you starting a business, right? Yeah. And I want to support you, and I hope that this podcast really helps get you out there. We're going to be on YouTube. We'll be on podcasts. If you're listening to this, every way that I could think of getting in contact with Chad will be in the show notes. I'll have his TikTok on there. I'll have his Facebook on there. I'll have, phone numbers, things like that. So you shouldn't have any problem or any challenge getting hold of him. If you know somebody who could really benefit from this business, please share this podcast. Please share Chad's information. I want to help him grow a huge business, have him get a bunch of employees, and help him grow other people's world as well. But Chad, man, thanks for coming on today. Any last question for you? Is there anything we didn't cover or anything that we didn't talk about that you want to make sure that the listeners hear?
I just thought of it. We talked about cleaning the homes, the surroundings, the concrete, but also wood decks or wood fences.
Oh yeah, fences. Even went through my head. I'm glad you said that. Brought that back.
Yeah, but going back to the Facebook page, I mean, you could see that a lot of people, and I'm not exaggerating this, will spend $16,000 to $25,000 on a brand new deck, right? And I've seen it because I've built the deck here. Okay?
I'm that guy.
And then they just don't do anything to it. So it just, your verticals are okay because the water runs off. But the stuff, your baseboards, the water just stays on. So it just goes through that wood. So it's going to get dirty. And so that's where I would come in, and I'm not going to pressure wash it. I'm going to put some chemicals on there that get it from the inside to the out and bring up all that algae debris. And then you got to seal it. You got to brighten it, and then you got to seal it. Same with fences. Now, fences are the vertical, but drive by. This is what I do now. I drive and I look at everything, just like you sell homes. So you're like, well, that would be a good home to sell. I look at it and like, man, that would be a great place to wash, or this needs to be washed. So when you drive and look at fences, they're going to be that dark gray, right? We can get them to look brand new again. And I have photos on Facebook. And then you got to treat everything. So you got to stain it, or you got to seal it with staining and sealing from the inside out. So it's going to be protective. But yeah, I forgot to mention that we do decks and fencing.
Yeah. And vinyl fencing and everything. Yeah.
Anything that's exterior, graffiti removal, rust removal. Anything that's exterior, it's going to come clean. So
love it. I love it. Well, I won't keep you, man. I appreciate your time. I'm hoping that I can help you get some more business. And until next time, take care, and we'll see you. We'll see you around.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Topeka Business Uncensored, where we interview business owners in the Topeka, Kansas area about their business and a little bit about them as a person. I'm Cole Boling, and I am one of the co-owners with my wife Jamie of the Boling Group real estate team with Keller Williams One Legacy Partners in Topeka. If you are thinking about selling, buying, or investing in real estate, I'd love to connect with you through our website at thebolinggroup.com.